Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is your host with the biggest nose, JC Courtside, coming at y'all today on Thursday, March 26th. How are y'all doing, y'all? I hope your basketball team won last night. I hope you're all having a phenomenal start to your day. Welcome on into yet another show. Very happy to have y'all today. We are not live on YouTube today, just Twitch and TikTok, and then obviously podcast listeners, if you're listening after the fact, I implore y'all to leave a like. I guess I don't think you can like it, but I think you can leave a 5-star rating and review. I would appreciate that very much. I'm sorry I'm a little bit flustered right now. I'm sure you guys have, you can tell that something's up. I was ranting about my adult rec league to the Twitch chat just before this podcast starts, because we go live on Twitch at 8:30 a.m. Eastern to just hang out and chat with the community before the show starts. So I was just getting a little bit agitated and I was getting it out, but we're live. And it's basketball time. It's real professional basketball, not my adult rec league. Ladies and gentlemen, today's going to be a fun show. I didn't prepare another segment at the end of the show. Like, for example, you know how yesterday we did the Would You Rather at the end, which I thought was really cool. And if you guys want me to do that more, definitely let me know. Today, I decided that I want to talk about every single team, because with the season wrapping up, there's a lot of teams that we're not going to be speaking about from here on out. So I figured, you know what? This will be the last time I actually shine that little spotlight, that headlight on a couple teams in particular. Now, I know you guys probably expected one game to be spoken about first, but instead, we have to talk about the most entertaining game of the night last night. We have to. And, we may as well just get this started, y'all. First game of the night that I have to talk about, because we're talking about every single one, because I watched every single one. Oops, did I just spoil the stud of the night? My apologies to everybody who, I had the stud of the night graphic up by mistake. My apologies to everybody who is watching. Let's just get started with the first game that I got to talk about from last night. And that is the Rockets choking a historic lead in overtime and end up falling to the T-Wolves, 110 to 108. Now, this game, y'all, this game was ridiculous. I stayed up and I saw Rudy Gobert get that final block on Kevin Durant in the fourth quarter. I saw that. I stayed up for it. I watched it. And I was like, wow. This is going to be an interesting game going into OT, but I'm tired. It was 12-10 at night. I'm tired. These teams both went on runs, multiple runs throughout this game. And ultimately, it just came down to the Rockets just choking the biggest lead ever. Okay, let me just read you the statistic. I'm sure you guys already saw the tweet. NBA teams were 0 and 180 when down by 10 or more points in overtime over the last 29 seasons. They are now 1 and 180. Wolves come back from down 13 in overtime, the largest overtime comeback win in the play-by-play era. Do you guys understand how ridiculous a stat like that is? Like, this is a historic choke job from the Houston Rockets. Not just that, this is historically ass for a team that had supposed championship aspirations, and now they are looking like this. This is embarrassing. And I'm sure Rockets fans are covering their eyes right now, because it's unbelievable. I watched this overtime back 3 times just to make sure I got all my notes correct. The Houston Rockets were running away with it. They were up 13. There was 2.5 minutes left, chat. In 2.5 minutes, they somehow allowed the Timberwolves to go on a 15-0 run in OT. A 15-0 run. Chat, is it just me? I swear on everything, Kevin Durant wasn't this much of a turnover machine for the rest of his career, right? He was not turning the ball over like this earlier in his career. And yet he's finishing every game with a minimum of 5 turnovers. Last night he had 6 turnovers. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I haven't even talked about the box score of this game yet. The Timberwolves were missing Anthony Edwards. They were also missing Ayo Dosunmu. So they're missing 2 guys, 2 part of their guys of their lineups and their entire team. They were also missing Naz Reid because he got ejected in overtime for no reason. No reason. Somebody in the TikTok said no Ant, no Ao, sorry, no Io, no Jaden, no Nas, no. What are you talking about, bro? You guys had Jaden McDaniels. He dropped 25 points. I don't know what Brody's talking about, but yeah, Nas Reed got he got robbed at the end of this game, and I want to just give credit where credit is due to Alperen Şengün. He had a couple massive blocks. He had a couple massive blocks last night, and that's somebody who doesn't play any defense whatsoever. He had some massive blocks, y'all. He saved the game basically going into overtime. He blocked the game-winning layup that could have been, and instead they end up going into overtime and lose. And this is why I've been telling everybody. This is why I've been telling everybody that I don't take the Rockets serious whatsoever. I don't, and I've been saying that all season long. Obviously they had Rudy Gobert foul at the end of the game, but that block by Rudy Gobert, I think it was the end of the fourth quarter. That was the last play I saw before I fell asleep. He had Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant had him at an ISO position. And he still went out on that perimeter and blocked him from mid-range. Ridiculous block from Big Rudy. This game was like, I'll be honest. Watching this game, it just felt like a nightmare. It felt like a dream. It felt like a bad dream. It was the Timberwolves versus Scott Foster and the Houston Rockets. We all know who Scott Foster is. He's the extender. That's his nickname. That's his nickname for a reason. He extends games. He's a horrible referee. I don't know how the hell he still has a job. In fact, I don't even think he's the worst ref in the NBA. I think it's Scott Foster and what's the Baldy's name? Josh Goebel. And then that black hair woman, that woman. I don't know. I think it's Josh Goebel, John Goebel. It might be John Goebel. Josh Goebel, whatever. Goebel, the Baldy. He's worse than Scott Foster. And then the black-haired woman, she's arguably up there with Josh Goebel as well. So let's continue with this game. The Houston Rockets, monumental choke job. Absolutely monumental choke job. Kevin Durant, that's the least efficient game I've seen from him all season long. He was 9 for 22 last night. Still finished with 30 points. Alperen Şengün, 12 for 22, 30 points. And then you look at everybody else and you think, how the hell were they even in this game to begin with? Amen Thompson, 4 for 8, not a bad game. He was one rebound off of a triple-double. Jabari Smith Jr., 7 for 15. And then here we go. Reed Shepherd, 3 for 13. If Reed isn't hitting threes, which he hit one in overtime, but if he's not hitting threes, he is absolutely worthless to be on the court. He's just worthless to be on the court if he's not hitting threes. He was 3 for 13. Tari Eason, 1 for 7. Guys, what is it with Tari Eason? I watch so many Rockets games, and I swear on everything, Tari Eason touches the ball and just goes straight tunnel vision. Like, nothing else in this world exists other than Tari Eason. Listen, if you guys have watched Rockets games, you know what I'm talking about. He was shooting above 42% from three for the first 5 months of this NBA season. And now he's 3 for 36 in his last 36, or maybe 3 for 37 now. Whatever. He's horrible. And he goes tunnel vision the second he touches the rock. Every time he touches the ball, he refuses to pass. He puts that ball up no matter what. Aaron Holiday, 1 for 3. Tari Eason, 1 for 7. Clint Capella, 0 for 1. Jason Tate, 1 for 2. And then Dorian Finney-Smith just ran and did cardio. Josh Okogie, yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was really, 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 really bad, bro. It was really bad. And to make it worse, the Timberwolves, they didn't really have that great of a game either. Kyle Anderson was 1 for 6. Bones Highland had an average Bones game. He's really good one night, really bad the other night. He was 3 for 11 last night. I want to give a shout out to Terrence Shannon Jr. He only played 2 minutes, but he had the game-winning tip. If you guys watched, the Rockets had 1.5 seconds left to try to win the game at the end in overtime, and Terrence Shannon Jr. Tipped the ball, tipped the inbound pass. So shout out to Terrence. That was a great play for not playing in the game at all and then going and doing that. Shout out to Jaden McDaniels, 25 points, 10 for 17. Julius Randle's shot has abandoned him. If you guys have been watching Timberwolves games, he can't shoot right now. It's bad. but he still finished with 24 points, 11 for 27, hit some big shots in overtime. Dante DiVincenzo had a huge 3 to tie the game up. I think tie the game. Yeah, tie the game up in overtime. He was 6 for 15, and then Mike Conley 2 for 6. Old ass. I mean, like, this is crazy. This is crazy. Like, what I watched, I don't think I've ever experienced watching a choke job quite like this one. It was an ugly game. It was a defensive game. Nobody could really hit shots. And I do love this question from Two Handed Kicks. He said, yo, Jay-Z, do you think when Ant comes back, he should change his play style? He won't. He won't. He's a shooter. He's a score first guy, and that's what he's going to be for his career. And yeah, I mean, he's not going to change his play style. This is Anthony Edwards' team, and he's going to continue dribbling the air out of the ball, just like Julius Randle does. Yeah, man, if you guys watch this game, you truly understand by what I'm saying. Like, this was horrendous. This was horrendous. Crazy run to end it. I don't know how the Timberwolves managed to go on a 15-0 run to end this game. And that's what happened. That's what happened. It was ridiculous. Now, for the Rockets, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if this has to be said. KD missed his free throws as well, which is big. You guys can correct me if you believe I'm wrong, but I'm going to say it. I'm going to say it. This is the kind of loss that ends your season. Not actually ends your season, but this is the loss that ends your season. I don't see how this team can recover from something like this. I'm sure they'll probably win in Memphis tomorrow. I'm not worried about that. But this is kind of one of those backbreaker losses because they just lost to the Chicago Bulls, and now they're losing to Minnesota without Anthony Edwards and Io. The Houston Rockets are pretty much guaranteed to get the 6th seed now, unless the Timberwolves just go. It depends. But this is not it. The Rockets are the 6th seed. If you stop the playoffs right now, they'll be playing the Lakers in the first round. And you know what's so funny? The Lakers are the only team the Rockets can beat in the playoffs, and the Rockets are the only team the Lakers can beat in the playoffs. I find that very, very funny because, like, I think we all have the Lakers winning in a series like that, but both of those teams, that's their train of thought right now. The Rockets can only beat the Lakers, and the Lakers can only beat the Rockets. And that's where we're at right now. That's where we're at right now. If you guys have any other, like, important notes from this game, feel free to let me know. This was just ugly. This was a bad loss for the Houston Rockets. That's what happens, man. That's what happens. And of course, my Lakers fans are saying Lakers can beat the Rockets, Spurs, and OKC. And that's why you, sir, are in the TikTok chat and not in the Twitch chat, because most of the brain dead idiots are in the TikTok chat. And my actual knowledge, my knowledgeable people, my smart people are in the Twitch stream. He's also spamming that message over there in the TikTok. So if you guys are enjoying today's stream, be sure to swing on into the Twitch stream. The link is in my bio. Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. TikTok is so brain dead. It's like you start to feel bad for them a little bit. You know what I mean? Guys, next up, we got to talk about the Boston Celtics outlasting the Oklahoma City Thunder. That's what we got to do. Now, I got to just say something. Right off rip. I got to say something for all my fans, okay? All my Boston fans and Thunder fans. Are there any in the building? I know we got some Celtics fans in here. Do we have any Thunder fans in the building? Because I got to say this, man. I'm sick of... Okay, first and foremost, I am not a fan of the Boston Celtics. I'm also not a fan of the Oklahoma City Thunder. If I were to pick who I enjoy watching more between Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jaylen Brown, I'm picking Jaylen Brown, okay? But I have to say this because I've been saying it since the beginning of the season, but I don't think people have heard me say it enough, so I got to say it again. Jaylen Brown needs to stop acting like he's above all of this. He needs to stop. I've been watching Jaylen Brown all season long. He's been going for foul baits and foul merchant and doing everything the same thing that Shai does. The only difference is that Jaylen Brown wasn't getting those calls at the start of the season. Now he's getting those calls, okay? So I need Jaylen Brown to stop with this nonsense about he doesn't get calls, he doesn't foul bait, he does everything that Shai does. He does everything that Shai does, just not at a high enough level like Shai does, okay? Now, I'm somebody that prefers Jaylen Brown. I prefer rooting for Jaylen Brown. I just like that build more. I love the big, stocky, I'm a guard, but not really a guard player. It's my favorite kind of player. I love watching Jaylen Brown play, but he needs to stop pretending that he's above Shai Gilgeous-Alexander as far as like ethical basketball. I need him to stop that. Because Jaylen Brown, every time you drive to the hoop, you scream A, you do the swing through. You know what I'm talking about, the swing through move. You do all the same moves that Shai does, just not at an elite level like Shai does. Jaylen Brown had 14 free throws last night, and that's nothing new since All-Star break. He's been getting these double-digit free throws games way more often. He had 14 free throws, 12 for 14, but he also finished with 31 points, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, 5 turnovers, but he shot 9 for 17 from the field. I'm sick of people pretending to be ethical when in actuality, they're doing exactly what Shai said at the end of the game. In case you guys missed Shai's post-game press conference, Shai said all the elite players, they managed to score from everywhere, and free throw line included, right? So he gave props to Jaylen Brown for getting to the free throw line as much as he did. I'm sick of seeing all of these people pretend to be ethical when all they do is the same moves over and over again, scream A, flail their arms, bob their head at any slight contact. So with that being said, great win from Jaylen Brown and the Boston Celtics. I just don't like the whole what's the word I'm looking for? I'm looking for a specific word, like not holy, but I guess like the mindset of I'm better than you, you know? Like just hubris, sure. Like let's cut the crap here. You guys are cut from the same cloth. Let's look at this objectively, right? Jason Tatum had a good game, 19 points. It's funny, Jason Tatum started the game, I believe 4 for 4, and then he ended up finishing 5 for 12, so he was not good in the second half. But they had so much contribution from Neemias Queta, Peyton Pritchard off the bench. I don't know how many bombs this guy hit throughout the game. And then Baylor Shireman. I don't know where this team finds these white guys, man. I don't know where they find these white guys. I don't know. But Baylor Shireman's a beast. He's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. I love Baylor Shireman. He did the same move like 3 times. The pump fake in the corner, 1 dribble, step back, 3 from the wing. I love watching guys like that play. I love watching it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, a bit entitled. I did really enjoy some of the dunks in this game, in particular the move when JB was laughing at Shai after he foul baited him with Shai's move. So like that's my whole thing here. That's my thing here is you're doing it, you're laughing, you're having fun, blah 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 blah. It was a good game from the Celtics. They had a lot of contribution, and overall, when you look at the Thunder, this is a bad game from everybody not named Shai. But I need you to look at Shai real quick. He had 33 points on 10 for 12 shooting. I will not allow any disrespect in regards to Shai's basketball ability because he's quite literally one of the best to do it. Like in this league right now, he is quite literally one of the best players to do it. 10 for 12 from the field. And yeah, he went 10 for 12 from the free throw line as well. Less free throws than JB, but 10 for 12 from the free throw line, 10 for 12 from the field. That's absolutely insane. He keeps his streak up. He's at 133 games in a row of scoring 20 plus points. It's ridiculous. TikTok, I am ending that stream. So if you guys want more of this episode, because we have like 40 more minutes left in this show, be sure to come through to the Twitch stream. I'm ending the TikTok. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio if you want more show. I'm ending the TikTok. So let's continue with this. The Thunder really didn't have any good contribution from anybody else. J-Dub had a horrible game, 7 points, 2 for 9. It's only a second game back, so I'm not really going to fault him a whole lot. Chet Holmgren was not aggressive whatsoever. He was 3 for 7. And then, AJ Mitchell didn't have a great game either, 4 for 9. Cason Wallace was 2 for 5. Alex Caruso was 3 for 11. Nobody had a good game, really. Nobody really had a good game. But Shai was incredible. Lou Dort hit some big threes in the first quarter. Listen, almost all of these great players in the NBA foul bait, okay? Almost all of them. You can look through all of them. Shea, Jaylen Brown, Luka, Jokic, almost all of them do it. Almost. Even Wemby. Bro, have y'all watched Wemby this season? Like, genuinely. Have y'all watched Wemby? I didn't say Anthony Edwards. There's a reason I didn't say Ant. There's a reason why I didn't say Cade Cunningham. There's a reason why I didn't say them. Hell, I'll even go as far as to say Jalen Brunson, because he's not doing nearly what he did last year, which that head bob was going crazy. So, again, most of the great players in the NBA do this. The foul baiting, the foul merchant, the foul this, foul that, foul this. And it's just part of the game at this point. It's just a part of the game. And it's something that us fans have to deal with. And this is just what we got. This is what we got. It wasn't like this, but now it is. And this is how it is. Shea does it. Luka does it. Jaylen Brown does it. Jokic. I said Luka twice, but yeah, that's how it feels. And even Wemby has started to do it. And this is just something that you guys have to adapt to. This is something that we all have to learn to just accept. It sucks that some of us get calls, and some of us don't. You know what I'm saying? Some of us don't. So, with all of this being said, it was a great win from the Boston Celtics. And I really do think that this is somewhat of a staple win. I thought the Celtics did almost everything right, including in the second half. I believe it was the third quarter. Yeah, the third quarter is when they started to pull away. They outscored them 39-30. And yeah, Jaylen Brown did his thing, and they were getting everybody involved. I think that was the best part that I loved watching last night about Jason Tatum in particular, is even though his shot wasn't falling in the second half, I loved watching those pick and rolls he was doing with Luka Garza and Nemish Queta, because he finished with 7 assists. Jaylen Brown finished with 8 assists. If I'm missing any other points, feel free, guys, to just let me know. Jaylen Brown's poster as well, that was a thing of beauty when he hit, I think, Jalen Williams, not J-Dub, but J-Will. It's fun, man. This could be a real finals preview. That pick and roll was absolutely monstrous in the third quarter in particular. It was just Jaylen Brown at the top getting a pick and roll with Queta, and then it was just Jason Tatum pick and roll at the top with Luka Garza. Now, I am going to have to say, some of you guys in the in the Twitch are going to have to calm down insulting people for their lack of, their opinion not agreeing with yours. You're going to have to chill out. You only come into the stream when the Timberwolves win. So if I were you, I would just chill out there. All right. And stop picking on people who actually watch my stream on a daily basis. Let's continue with the rest of it. I think I've hit all my notes on this game. I think I've hit all of my notes on this game. I don't think I have anything else unless Celtics fans or Thunders fans want to convince me. That was a real good win. That was a really good win. And the production that you can get from a Baylor Shireman, bro, if that's happened in the playoffs, I don't see how anybody can beat this team. They hit 18 threes. And when you outshoot the Thunder from 3, it's over. You're not, like, they're not going to beat you. If you are hitting more threes than they are and also playing better defense and out rebounding them, then that's how it's going to work. This is a really good game. I enjoyed watching it back. Now, guys, now. We got some more things to talk about. Of course, Isaiah Hartenstein with all of his over and over again moving screens. Believe me, I see it. We all see it. Okay, that's actually a great comment from Lumen. Lumen, thank you for the follow on Twitch. I appreciate it very, very much. Your account was created 35 seconds ago, and you followed me 18 seconds after your account was made. Are you a possible ban evader? Are you somebody's alt account? That is a great point. Like I said, not many people played well for the Thunder. Not many people did. Yeah, J-Dub shot 2 for 9. I already went through the entire box score. But, yeah, man, that's what happened. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's time we talk about every single other game that happened last night. What about you? Let's go through all of my other takeaways from last night. Lumen, thank you for the follow. Thank you for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream. It truly means the world. If you guys are enjoying the Twitch stream, be sure to drop a follow. And remember, if you watch 3 Twitch streams in a row, I will gift you a $5 subscription on Twitch so you no longer get ads. All right? So I hope to see more of you guys come through from the TikTok to the Twitch. Ammo, can you clear this guy's name so it doesn't show possible? I think I can do it. There you go. Okay, so now we got to continue with the rest of these games. All right? First one up. I'm not really going in any specific order, but we're going to talk about the Mavericks and Denver, the Denver and Dallas game. Okay. Now, the Denver Nuggets won 142 to 135. And I got to show y'all these because I didn't watch this game. I watched it back this morning. And oh my God. Oh my God. Like, you guys just need to read this. Jamal Murray had 53 points, shooting 19 for 28 from the field and 9 for 14 from three. And Jokic almost dropped a 20-20-20 game. We are becoming too numb to this man right here. Like, this duo, this 1-2 punch, it's like a modern day 1-2 punch. You know what I mean? And it is just unfreaking believable what these two guys do on the court at the same time. It's truly and utterly unbelievable. Like, he had 23 points, 21 rebounds, 19. It's nuts. It's crazy. It's very, very crazy. And honestly, that's not even my favorite highlight of this game. I think my favorite one is that Nikola Jokic at the podium in the post-game conference, after dropping 23, 21, and 19, is wearing Minion Crocs. Minion Crocs. What can't this man do? What can't he do, ladies and gentlemen? It's truly unbelievable. And yeah, D. Pontus, I agree fully with you by saying Thunder should be scared. The West is top heavy. Absolutely. I think everybody is worried about that. I'd like to give special shout outs to Lumen, OG, and D. Pontus for leaving the TikTok and coming through to the Twitch stream, guys. I appreciate y'all very much. Be sure to join the Discord, exclamation point Discord in the Twitch chat. Yeah, we'd love to have you guys join. That's where the most of the community hangs out off stream. Be sure to join the Discord, exclamation point Discord in the chat. I guess, yeah, TikTok just nailed me there. I said, what can't this man do? And they said, play defense. You are right. But they hit 19 threes. You're not going to beat the Denver Nuggets if they're hitting 19 threes. Najee Marshall had a decent game. Cooper Flag had 26, 10 for 18. That was a pretty good game from him. But all in all, I mean, when you get Peyton Watson back now and he's scoring 21 points off the bench, like, that's unbelievable. You're not going to beat this team. You're not. And it was a close game because the Nuggets were not playing defense. Like, I watched this game back and they were just letting them get to the hoop over and over and over again. How many points did the Mavericks score in the paint? 56. That's a lot for the Mavericks. And yeah, Nuggets won. Najee Marshall's a beast. I love that guy. The Nuggets won with some, I mean, crazy stat lines, bro. Do you know how hard it was? Do you know how hard it was to come up with a conclusion of who was the stud of the night last night? It was extremely difficult, guys, because there were a lot of fun stat lines that happened last night. So, next game. Let's move on to the Hawks-Pistons game. Now, of course, as you guys know, I watched this game in its entirety. The Pistons went down by 21 at halftime, and they evaporated that lead in the first 4 minutes of the third quarter. I don't really want to talk about this game a whole lot, but my biggest thing about this team is that when Jalen Duren isn't putting in his effort on the glass or on the defensive end, the Pistons look horrible. It happens over and over and over again. And I tell everybody, pay attention to the first 5 minutes of the basketball game. You will know on whether or not Jalen Duren's going to be trying or not. And the issue is, without having Isaiah Stewart, there's nobody to pick up Jalen Duren's slack. There's nobody to pick up. Now, I would be more disappointed in this loss if the Hawks weren't genuinely a good basketball team. The Hawks were projected to be better than the Pistons this year, just so we're all clear. The Magic and the Hawks were both projected to be better than Detroit this year. They're not, but that's why this loss doesn't really hurt me that much, because we don't have Cade Cunningham. We don't have Isaiah Stewart, you know? The Hawks are a very good basketball team, and without Cade and without Stu, the Pistons lost by 1. They pushed the game into overtime. Jalen Duren had the opportunity to win the game, and he just put the layup short, and that's how the Pistons lost. I don't like the effort in which Jalen Duren brought. I think they should have kept giving it to Duren. They should have kept giving it to Duren. He had 26 points, 14 rebounds, 9 for 15 from the field, and they weren't feeding him anymore. They were not feeding him anymore. I think Asar Thompson had my favorite game last night. He had 18 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 4 steals, 1 block, and he shot 9 for 11 for the field. And yeah, man, I just gotta say it. The bench was absolutely horrendous. And I'm gonna say something that I hope you guys remember. If there's one thing you guys can walk away with at the end of this episode, please let it be this one fact. And I have said it game after game after game after game. I'm about to fucking cry with how many times I've said it so much, okay? Please remember this one singular fact that I'm going to tell you. JB Bickerstaff, this dynasty will start after you. What do I mean by that? Every single time the Pistons are in a close game, JB Bickerstaff takes out Asar Thompson and puts in Karis LeVert or Javonte Green. And every single time, it bites the Pistons in the ass. CJ McCollum always kills the Pistons, but CJ McCollum scored the last 11 points for the Hawks in the fourth quarter. Do you know why he scored 11 straight points? Because JB Bickerstaff decided with 3 minutes left in the game, he was going to sit Asar Thompson out for the rest of the game. And this tweet is every single tweet that every Pistons fan has been posting every single game. I cannot believe with my own eyes, Asar Thompson was pulled from the game with 1 minute remaining. It happens over and over and over and over again. And somebody in the TikTok who's clearly a casual said Asar Thompson cannot shoot the ball. You can't keep him on the floor all the time. When he is not just your best defender on your team, when he is the best perimeter defender in the entire NBA, yes, it doesn't matter if he doesn't have a shot. It does not matter if he doesn't have a shot. He is quite literally the best defender on the perimeter in the entire league. And you sit him out. And then what happens? CJ McCollum comes in and scores 11 points straight. What happens on the last play of the fourth quarter, ladies and gentlemen? I have a question. What happens? He brings him in with 7 seconds left in the game. He guards CJ McCollum. CJ McCollum bricks the fuck out of the game-winning shot. It goes into overtime, all because of Asar Thompson. It happens over and over and over and over again. Yet JB continues to make the same boneheaded play by taking Asar Thompson out of the game in clutch situations over. Chat, the Pistons now have 20 losses. 10 of those, 10 have been because he takes Asar out at the end of the game. 10. Last playoff series against the New York Knicks. It happened 3 out of the 6 games. The Pistons were up by 10 in 3 out of the 6 games with 3 minutes left. JB takes Asar out. Jalen Brunson goes on a 12-0 run by himself. Pistons lose. It happened 3 out of the 6 games against the New York Knicks. He didn't learn last year, and he hasn't learned this year, that Asar Thompson is the most valuable player on the court. It's truly unfreaking believable that I have to watch Karis LeVert be employed by my basketball team. Karis LeVert. He was a minus 21 last night. Guess how many points the Pistons went down in the second quarter? 21. The Pistons were down 21, and Karis LeVert was a minus 21. I don't like this comment from OG's, a new person in the Twitch stream. He came from the TikTok. He said Detroit isn't beating Boston or New York in the playoffs. No more than 2 wins against either of them. I think that's unfair to say. The Pistons this season, in the regular season, have beat the Knicks by 40, 38, and 25. They also won the season series against the Boston Celtics. The Pistons are without Cade Cunningham and Isaiah Stewart. I think that's unfair to say that the Pistons can only take 2 games off of New York and Boston. I think that's pretty unfair. Now, let's move on to our next game after I got that rant off. The Lakers and the Pacers. I know my one Laker fan in the Twitch chat is gassing up this game beyond belief because Luka Doncic scored 43, which he did. He did score 43. He did. Off 15 for 30 shooting against the Indiana Pacers. And, you know, for the Lakers, when they have their 3 top guys score for 20 plus, yeah, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. When Austin Reeves goes for 20 plus, when Luka goes for 30 plus, he had 40 plus. And then when LeBron James goes for 20 plus as well, they're not going to lose that game. That was a fun fake comeback from the Pacers, trying to make it a little bit more difficult. I think they ruined the spread as well. It was a good win from the Los Angeles Lakers, but they beat the Pacers. So I'm not going to hype this up at all. Not like the Lakers fans are. They beat the Pacers. And that is also a valid comment saying Tatum wasn't there. That is a valid comment. Now, I am a Pistons fan, in case you don't know, and I am the most real Pistons fan in the world. I'm not gassing up that team. I'm the hardest critic. But in regards to the Boston Celtics, I think they match up very well against them. I think having a Sar Thompson for a Peyton Pritchard and a Jaylen Brown is very, very valuable. But who knows? I think they hit way too many threes for the Pistons to actually beat them in a playoff series. In my opinion, I think the Pistons are going to lose to the Cavs in the second round. That's my opinion. But yeah, the Lakers beat the Pacers. Woo! I'm going to hype this game up. Woo! Yeah. Yeah. All right, next, Philly and the Bulls. Philly dropped 157 points last night, courtesy of Joel Embiid returning and Paul George returning. Paul George came in, dropped 28 points, 11 for 22 shooting. Joel Embiid came in and dropped 35, 7, and 6, all 12 for 17 shooting. The Bulls don't have a center, so I'm not really going to hype this up beyond belief either. They have Nick Richards, who's barely a center. But yeah, I mean, the Philadelphia, same with VJ Edgecombe, he had 22, and then Campaign off the bench had 15. Justin Edwards had 12 off the bench. It's a good win by Philly. That's a really good win by Philly. Very, very good win by Philly. He's starting to look normal now, Anthony. And yeah, this game actually means a lot in the standings, because Philadelphia is now back to the 7th seed. And also, I forgot to mention, the Hawks beating the Pistons also moved them up to the 5th seed, because the Toronto Raptors lost last night, which we'll get to. The Raptors lost and the Hawks won. So the Hawks are now the 5th seed, ladies and gentlemen. That's insane. I mean, they were projected to be a top 5 seed anyways. I think they were actually projected to be the 5th seed going into the season. I have to check, but they were projected to be 5th in the Eastern Conference, and now they're 5th. Shout out the Hawks, man. They're fun. They're a very fun team. They're a very, very fun team. The Orlando Magic were also projected to be third. They're projected to be third. And they get New Orleans' pick, which is crazy. So shout out Philly for getting that win. Crazy. Let's move on to our next game. Colby keeps talking about it in my Twitch chat, that the Heat won. Yes, the Heat had a tremendous fourth quarter, and end up beating that's all this game was to me. The Cavs just got burnt out. They were on the second night of a back-to-back. I feel like, can I just interrupt myself real quick? I feel like you guys always say the point later after I already said it. I mentioned Paul George having 28 in his return. I mentioned Joel Embiid doing what he did in his return. I don't know why you guys always emphasize, some of you guys always emphasize as if I missed it, but I did mention that. I did. The Cleveland Cavaliers were exhausted last night. The Heat should have won this game, and they did. The Cleveland literally only scored 20 points in 2 quarters. They scored 19 in the first quarter and 20 in the fourth quarter. So the Heat did what they were supposed to do. Almost everybody got double digits points, which is crazy. The only one who didn't is Yakachonis. Literally, like that's crazy. Like, just look at this box score real quick. Wiggins 12, Bam 17, Norm 19, Tyler Hero 18, Davion Mitchell 11. Pele Larson, 14. Khalil Ware, 13. Jaime Jaquez, 14. And then Yakachonis, only 2. Crazy. Like, they did exactly what they were supposed to do. And the Cavs were just gassed, bro. The Cavs are gassed. They had no bench production last night. 1 for 5, 2 for 3, 2 for 7, 0 for 1. And even the starters, Keon Ellis was 5 for 12. Ivan Mobley was 3 for 8. Max Strus sat out. Yeah, nobody had a good game from the Cavs. And that's because they were tired. I'm just pinning it on being exhausted. But that was a good win by Miami. Next up, the Spurs defeating Memphis 123-98. The only thing I saw from this game was, aside from the second half, was that Gigi Jackson poster on Wemby, and then Wemby postering Gigi Jackson immediately back. That was a great win by San Antonio. What's the statistic for San Antonio? Have they won something like 28 of their last 30 or something like that? It's something like that, right? Spurs fans, if y'all know the exact stat, please holler at me. They've only lost 2 games since March. They've only lost 2 games since February 26th, which is crazy. I think next year is the year where everyone starts turning on Wembanyama. This year, he's still that fun story, and people still love the Spurs. People still root for that team. But I think next year is the year. No, actually, I don't think. I know. Next year is the year that everyone turns on Wemby that isn't a Spurs fan. That's where the foul baiting, the foul merchants, the crybaby, that's when all those comments are going to start getting flung around. It happens to every great player. Everyone roots for them, and then everybody tries tearing them down. It happens with every single one. And this is the year where Wemby's going to have all of the gas, all of the support from everybody around the league, and then everybody's going to be hating on him next year. So Spurs fans, enjoy this while everybody roots for you guys, because just like us last year, everybody loved the Pistons, everybody loved Cade, and now this year all of a sudden they start winning, and everybody hates the Pistons. And everybody hates Cade. So Spurs fans, enjoy while everybody's rooting for you. Enjoy while you're still the good story in the NBA, because it's not going to last that long, unfortunately. You guys are that good. You guys are that good. You guys are that good. And yeah, the reception around y'all is great as well. I know, I feel like people have already started to hate on Wemby, but I feel like all the other comments are going to come out and they're going to be insane. Next game. Real quick. I'm not going to say anything about this game. I just need to show you this. So, for example, when you look at, I'm just going to do the Heat Cavaliers, for example. You see this picture right here, how they have the top performers, and they have like Donovan Mitchell, Khalil Ware, Bam Adebayo, Tyler Hero, and then like, for example, this game with the let's look at the Hawks Pistons. And then this game, you have Jalen Johnson, Jalen Duren, Jalen Johnson, CJ McCollum. You see what I'm talking about? These little cute graphics on StatMuse. Here, I'll even show you this one. The Thunder and Celtics. They have Shea, they have Tatum, they have Shea, they have Dort, and then I'm not going to talk about this game because when you go to the Wizards Jazz, none of the guys have pictures. So yeah, the Wizards beat the Jazz 133-110. And in fact, I must be a casual because even I don't recognize some of these men on this team. Julian Reese, I'm sorry, 26 points, 17 rebounds. Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck? Listen, guys. I tell y'all all the time, Mickey Mouse March is some of the most boring yet so like exactly. That's Angel Reese's brother. I found that out yesterday. Because of what? Because of Twitter. That's the only reason I found that out. Now, I just have to point this out, chat. I have to point this out. This is what Mickey Mouse March is all about. And I told you guys on March 1st, I said, get ready. You are going to see names play out of their damn minds. Names that you've never seen before. And we're getting that all March. You got like 340 bombs from Bryce Sensabaugh in Utah. You got Angel Reese's brother dropping 26 points and 17 rebounds for the Wizards. You got Jaden Hardy, 21 points. You got Sharif Cooper. I'm sorry, but I got to be the one to say it. Sharif Cooper, I'd never heard of this guy until he started hooping against my Pistons. This guy's a baller. I don't know if you guys have watched Sharif Cooper. This guy's a hooper. He's a hooper. Sharif Cooper. He's like a running back body, but he's a hooper. Listen, bro. And then you can just go to the other side with Utah Jazz real quick. Who? Bez Bang? Who the fuck is this guy? Excuse my French. Who are you? 11 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists? Bez Bang? Am I crazy, chat? Who is this guy? John Conchar, I know him. Kennedy Chandler? Bro, I have never heard, like, chat, I watch basketball. This is my job, right? This is my job. To watch basketball is my job. Who are these people? Kennedy Chandler? Bro, Oscar Schwebe? Who the fuck is this guy? Hold on. Oscar how do we even Twishby? Who is this guy? I've never heard of this man in my entire life. He has played one game. Okay, you know what? I'm not a casual. This is his first ever game. Wait, no, I'm wrong. He has 18 games played. Tushibui. I'm sorry, chat. I'm sorry, but this is Blake Hinson. Hold on. Blake Hinson dropped 21 points last night. Blake. What? I forgot his name. Blake Hinson. Who? I've never seen this guy before. I've never seen this guy. I've never seen this guy in my life. Blake Hinson dropped 21 points last night. You guys know him, and that, I don't watch college ball like that. So shout out to you guys for knowing these people. This is my job, and I quite literally have never heard. Bro, they only went 8 deep. Tshibui won National Player of the Year in college. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I don't really watch that much college ball, but I will be starting. That's crazy to me. Let's move on to the next game. The Wizards won. Portland Trailblazers won 130-99 despite Ryan Rollins dropping 36 points. I feel like nobody's talked. I have not heard a single word about Ryan Rollins in like 5 months. Anybody else? Anybody else? The only thing I hear coming out of Milwaukee is Giannis news, which is I've muted entirely. I feel like I might be I don't know. I feel like I haven't heard anything from Ryan Rollins since like December, November. But yeah, Scoot Henderson dropped 23 points off the bench. What a beast. What a beast. Next up, I only have one note of this game. One note. The Golden State Warriors and the Brooklyn Nets. I need you guys to do me a favor and go look at the last play by the Brooklyn Nets on Twitter. Just go look up the last play, okay? Just go look up the last play. Brooklyn's not even trying to hide it anymore on what their goal is this season. Please just go watch the last play from the Brooklyn Nets and Golden State Warrior game. It's so pathetic. It's so pathetic, and yet it's just so funny. It's so funny. And lastly, we have the Toronto Raptors falling 119-94 to Kawhi Leonard and the Los Angeles Clippers. Brandon Ingram led the way with 18 points for the Raptors. Nobody else really wanted to do anything. And then, Kawhi had 27. Brook Lopez had 14. Darius Garland had 24. Had some nice-ass shots, too. And Benedict Mathurin off the bench, 23. But with Isaiah Jackson, 12 points off the bench. Former Pacers, former Cav, former Raptor, all going crazy in this game. Yeah, man. Those are all the games from last night. And I think the standings right now, I think at the end of every episode, we got to just take a quick peek at all the standings, just because now it's like every game is super important. So out east, we have the Pistons leading by only 4 games. 4 games on the Boston Celtics. Honestly, as much as I would like to say the Pistons will finish the first seed, I think it's better for the Pistons to fall to second. Because in the first seed, the Pistons would have to play a good team, and that doesn't matter, right? I don't really care about, but the second round is what I'm talking about. The second round, the Pistons would have to play the Cavs if they move on. They would have to play the Cavs. If they fall to the second, they'd probably have to play the Knicks. And to be honest, I like the Pistons' chance against the Knicks way more than the Cavs. The Cavs match up very, very well against the Pistons. It's not that I think the Cavs are a better team than the Knicks, but I think that the Pistons match up better against the Knicks than they do the Cavs. And then we got the Celtics up next. Half a game up on the Knicks. The Knicks could tie it back up, being at 4 games. We'll see. Cavaliers, they're 7.5. They're pretty much locked into the 4th seed. I don't really think. Does anybody have the cat? I don't think so. I think they're going to stay the 4th seed. The Hawks, though, they take the 5th seed with a win by them and a loss by the Raptors. With that loss as well, the Raptors fall to the 6th seed in the East, and they're only half a game up on the Philadelphia 76ers. On top of that, after that, we got the Heat at 8th, Hornets at 9th, and the Magic at 10th. Out west, we have the Thunder only 2 games ahead of the Spurs. The Spurs made a full game catch-up last night because the Thunder lost and the Spurs won. So they are only 2 games behind the Thunder for the 1st seed. The Lakers way back there at the 3rd seed, 10 games behind. They are only a game and a half above the Nugs. The Nugs are only half a game up on the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves are only a game and a half up on the 6th-seeded Rockets. And then, of course, we have the Suns, Clippers, Trailblazers, and Warriors, which are pretty much all locks to be in the play-in. And that's what we're dealing with, y'all. Those are the standings. It's going to be very interesting. For everybody saying that the Hornets have a very tough schedule ahead, I disagree strongly. We have talked about this multiple times. The Hornets technically, yes, have a pretty difficult schedule ahead of them. But in all actuality, they don't. They don't. They have the Knicks and Celtics. Those are the only 2 difficult games that I see for the rest of their season that they could potentially lose. Because at the end of the season here, they have the Timberwolves as well. But at the end of the season here, if seedings don't matter, anymore, then the Celtics are going to be sitting out their guys. The Pistons are going to be sitting out their guys. And the Knicks are also going to be sitting out their guys. So that's the big thing here is if seedings no longer matter, their last 3 games should be free, essentially. I remember like last year when the Pistons clinched the 6th seed, we rolled out with a starting lineup of Dennis Jenkins, Bobby Klintman, what's the other guy's name? Wendell Moore, and Tolu Smith. So, like I said, we'll see. We'll see what we got. Like I said, the Pistons are probably going to be sitting everybody against the Hornets if they have the lead snatched up. It depends. It truly depends on, who clinches the 6th seed and who, if they're still battling for the 1st seed. That's a valid take because this is what happens at the end of every single season. Now, what I will say is if Cade can somehow come back and play his last 4 games he needs in order to be eligible for All-NBA, then he will only play 20 minutes in any of those games that he plays. That's like my last tidbit. But if the seedings are decided, then the Hornets have an easy path. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's show. I do not have another segment. I don't have Factor Cap. I don't have True or False. I don't have Is This True? I don't have Is This News? I don't have a Would You Rather. That is going to do it. I wanted to talk about every single team today. I haven't done that in a long, long time, and I feel like that might be the final time we actually mention the Wizards and Jazz and Bucks and Nets and Warriors. So I felt like, you know what? Let me just talk about that. And to end today's podcast, I got to leave y'all with my stud of the night. It was very difficult to choose who the stud of the night was last night. There were so many insane stat lines. You had Ryan Rollins. You had Blake Hinson. You had Jamal Murray dropping 53 points. You had Luka dropping 43. You had Duran dropping 26. You had Cooper Flagg dropping 26. You had Jaylen Brown. You had Shea. You had Joel Embiid. You had Paul George. There's so many good games last night, y'all. There were so many good lines last night, and it's so difficult to choose. But ultimately, I love these stat lines so much. I got to go with Nikola Jokic, man. It's so hard not picking somebody that had a 50-piece last night. But Nikola Jokic, guys, we can't be numb to this, man. 23 points, 21 rebounds, and 19 assists. He almost had a 20-20-20 game. I got to give it to Nikola Jokic. I haven't given him a stud of the night because we're so numb to his unbelievable, ridiculous stat lines. But I just have to give it to him. I have to. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's going to do it for today's podcast. All I got to ask and beg, I beg, TikTok, be sure to swing on into the Twitch stream, all right? We're still live on Twitch. The link is in my bio. That's Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. The link is in my bio. Just look up Jay-Z Uncut on Twitch. Podcast listeners, be sure to leave a 5-star rating and review. We are still live on Twitch. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day. We got some good NBA basketball tonight as well, I believe, right? I think we got some good NBA basketball. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I got nothing left to say except for thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. And remember, guys, we're going to be live tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern to finish this week off. All right? All right? I hope to see you then. Thank you for watching or listening. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. Have a good one, everybody.